ਜੀਵੇ ਪਰਮਾਨੰਦ। ਜਪ ਜਪ ਜੀਵੇ ਪਰਮਾਨੰਦਾ, ਜਪ ਜਪ ਜੀਵੇ ਪਰਮਾਨੰਦਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਨਾਮ ਰਾਸ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗ ਖਾਟੇ, ਨਾਮ ਰਾਸ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗ ਖਾਟੇ। ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਅਪਦਾ ਕਾਟੇ। ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਅਪਦਾ ਕਾਟੇ। ਹਰ ਤਨ ਕੋ ਹਰ ਤਨ ਕੋ ਵਾਪਾਰੀ ਪੂਰਾ, ਹਰ ਤਨ ਕੋ ਵਾਪਾਰੀ ਪੂਰਾ। ਜਿਸੈ ਨਿਵਾਜੇ ਸੋ ਜਨ ਸੂਰਾ, ਜਿਸੈ ਨਿਵਾਜੇ ਸੋ ਜਨ ਸੂਰਾ, ਜਿਸੈ ਨਿਵਾਜੇ ਸੋ ਜਨ ਸੂਰਾ। ਜਿਸੈ ਨਿਵਾਜੇ ਸੋ ਜਨ ਸੂਰਾ। ਪੁਰਜਾ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੇ, ਪੁਰਜਾ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੇ। ਪੁਰਜਾ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੇ, ਪੁਰਜਾ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੇ। ਕਬੂ ਨਾ ਛੱਡੈ ਖੇਤ, ਕਬੂ ਨਾ ਛੱਡੈ ਖੇਤ। ਕਬੂ ਨਾ ਛੱਡੈ ਖੇਤ, ਕਬੂ ਨਾ ਛੱਡੈ ਖੇਤ। ਪੁਰਜਾ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੈ, ਪੁਰਜਾ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੈ। ਗਗਨ ਦਮਾਮਾ ਬਾਜਿਓ, ਪਰਿਓ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ ਕਹਾਓ। ਗਗਨ ਦਮਾਮਾ ਬਾਜਿਓ, ਖੇਤ ਜੋ ਮਾਂਡਿਓ ਸੂਰਮਾ, ਖੇਤ ਜੋ ਮਾਂਡਿਓ। ਅਬ ਜੂ ਜਨ ਕੋ ਦਾਓ, ਅਬ ਜੂ ਜਨ ਕੋ ਦਾਓ, ਅਬ ਜੂ ਜਨ ਕੋ ਦਾਓ। ਸੂਰਾ ਸੋ ਪਹਿਚਾਨੀਐ, ਸੂਰਾ ਸੋ ਪਹਿਚਾਨੀਐ। ਜੋ ਲੜੈ ਦੀਨ ਕੇ ਹੇਤ, ਪੁਰਜਾ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੈ। ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੈ, ਪੁਰਜਾ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੈ। ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਛਾਡੈ ਖੇਤ, ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਛਾਡੈ ਖੇਤ। ਜਪ ਲੋ ਹਉ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੁਖ ਫੇਰ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਹਉ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੁਖ ਫੇਰ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਕਰਵਟ ਦੇ ਮੋਕੋ ਕਾਹੇ ਕੋ ਆਹੇ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੈ ਪੁਰਜਾ ਕੱਟ ਮਰੈ ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh. Thank you so much to the Sangat for coming down today, to the Katha, now to the course as well. Thank you to Bhai Singh Ji for the lovely Kirtan. So the Ardaas course is back on. It's been a bit on and off for quite a while during the summer break as well. So we're back now every single week. So BNT here, please let your family and friends know that it's back on. So let's try and get back into routine, come every single week. And we're very blessed today because we have Bhai Singh Ji from Slough, right? From, the other side is south and that is Slough. So it's great to have Bhai Sahib Ji down, and they're going to be doing a talk on Shaheed Bhai Mani Singh Ji. I've seen this talk a few times as well. So it's a fantastic talk by Bhai Sahib Ji. So please stay for the whole session. And Benti here, can the Singhs come forward? Maybe come forward as well. It's a bit of like, it's a bit of a gap. Don't be shy. Please come forward and let's all take part in the talk and take laha from it as well. But I'll leave it there and I'll pass over to Bhai Sahib Ji as well. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa. WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh.
WhyGuru. We'll just start with a mangal, which is like an introduction to set the tone and the theme. So, Sadhguru Daya Kare. And I should also add, compared to Southall, Slough's exotic. Slough the Vadiya Sthana compared to Southall, but that's for another day. Guru Ji Kirpa. Bilaval Mahalla Panjava. राखो अपनी शरण प्रभ मोहि कृपा तारे सेवा कछु न जानू नीच मूर्खारे मान क्रोध दो ऊपरे मेरे प्रीतम प्यारे हम अपराधी सद भूलते तुम बख्शन हारे रहाओ हम अवगन करह असंख नीत तुम निर्गुण दातारे दासी संगत प्रभु त्याग ये कर्म हमारे तुम देव हो सब किछ दया धार हम अकिरत कनारे लाग परे तेरे दान स्यो नह चित खस मारे तुझ ते बाहर किछ नहीं पव काटन हारे कहो नानक सरन दयाल गुर ले हो मुग्ध उधारे धन जियो तह को जग मैं मुख में हर चित में राम विचारै देह अनित न नित रहै जस नाव चढ़ै पव सागर तारै सगल द्वार को छाड़ कै गहयो तुहारो द्वार बाहें गहे की लाज अस गोबिंद सगल द्वार को छाड़ कै बाहें गहे की लाज आस गोबिंद दास वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह सो तार थोड़ी छोटी पै जानी like too close to the speaker this side's a bit awkward isn't it it's a bit right I'm not so much used to doing talks actually I do a lot of talks but when I'm standing and in Maharaj's Darbar and the setups like this but all good so I'm asking should I look into the camera should I not look into the camera should I look at the Sangha there's just too much going on like sensory overload to be fair isn't it and all the people are staring at me on that side little swords down everything it's a sensory overload slide down the gadi please yeah so the talk on Bhai Mani thing I've done this talk as Bhai Sukhdeep Singh said a fair few times now it's not moving yeah just start off yeah So the Ardaas, and I start with a comment made by, not myself, I can't claim this is my comment, someone called Bibi Jaswant Kaur, who I admire for all the work her and her husband have done for Punjab Disappeared. And I've heard her say a few times now that Jiri Ardaas hai na, the Ardaas is a collective memory of our Panth. So we can look at this and in many ways is the trauma of the Panth that we, trauma is that buzzword now, isn't it? We love the word trauma, flanne trauma, trauma when my dad gave me shit that I heard, trauma ho gaya, trauma when it done ho, jokes aside obviously, trauma is a thing, I'm not denying that. ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਛਿੱਤਰ ਬੜੇ ਖਾਦੇ ਆ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਚੱਲ ਸਹੀ ਲਾਈਨ 'ਚ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ ਜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਉੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਹੋਣਾ ਆ so we use the word trauma, we throw it around for getting beats at home, might use the word trauma for whatever, and it is a real thing, I'm not denying that at all. And there's actually a theory where it talks about trauma continues in your DNA, and then to break that cycle, and that's what the Guru's Sikhi and the Guru's greatness is, because Guru said breaks that cycle of trauma. We can talk about that a little bit later. But the Ardaas is a collective history, it's a collective memory of the trauma, of the experiences of our ancestors. And that trauma, if you want to use that word, or that memory continues every single day, 3 times a day, in every single Gurdwara around the world. You can go to any part of the world, wherever you want, the same Ardaas will be recited. We remember Jinnah, Singha, Singhaniya. We remember all the Sikh and the Bibiya, all the Singh and the Singhaniya who are Band Katte Gaye is what the theme is today. We will collectively remember that every single day. And that is what the Ardaas is not just, it's a record of our history. It's been added to as we go along, because as things happen, people add things to the Ardaas. And it's a record of what we collectively have all experienced through our ancestors as well. So, today's theme is Jinnah Band Katai, and I just want to focus on the word Jinnah. Jinnah is a plural, so it's not singular. We're not looking at that one individual. We may look at today's Bhai Mani Singh Ji, because he's the most renowned and famous Guru Band Katai, but we know there's a Sikh called Bhai Guljar Singh. It's written in Urdu, it's a book in Urdu, with the history of, I think, Pakistan, or the modern day Pakistan. He talks about, not even our historians, talk about Bhai Guljar Singh, who's Band Kattaya Gaya as well. And God knows how many other things were killed piece by piece, or dismembered piece by piece, and we know nothing about them. Even in the 80s, what was done in the 80s to our again, collectively, our ancestors, our families. So, Jinnah is a plural, we're looking at all of those. Khopariyan lahaiyan, charkhadiyan te chare, we're looking at every single one of them, but today we'll focus on just one. We remember them all, but today we'll just look at one, who's Shaheed Bhai Mani Singh Ji. Now, Shaheed Bhai Mani Singh Ji, I just want to start with one thing. Sometimes it's really easy to get caught up in the emotion. You come to like the Christmas time, I'm not sure if I can say that here, Christmas. I'll tell you a funny story. I went back to my band in Punjab. This is 1999. I'm not sure how old you guys are. I'm a little bit older than I look. And this is when I first realised, man, what's going on? Like, ki ho reha hai? I went back to my band in 1999. In a band with Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. Maharaj Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji went to that band, hired the host there. Utte Gurdwara Sthan bane itihasik to remember Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. And I went there, walked into the Darbar, 9 years old, I don't know much. There's 2 Christmas trees in front of Maharaj. One on either side. Think, bloody hell, man, like, where have we gone? This is literally the days of Shaheed, we've got 2 Christmas trees inside in front of Maharaj. Things have improved, I'm not anti-Christmas or anything, but I'm just saying we do remember who we are. And sometimes it's emotional, it's easy to get caught up in the emotion of Shaheedi. It's really emotion. I can sit here and deliver a katha, deliver a talk, and say, Bhai Mani Singh Ji was cut piece by piece, and we get so involved in the emotion, we actually forget what came before. Gyani Kulwant Singh, who's a great Vidavan of the Panth, I was in New Zealand travelling, and we'd go to Divans, we knew someone was in the country. And we were in, I think Christchurch it was, and we went to a Divan of Gyani Kulwant Singh. And he was doing katha. It's amazing to see, because the Sikh there, there's 2 kind of migration phases to New Zealand. One was the original Sikhs that went there, and they've established Gurdwara. And then you get the new wing and the new phase of Sikhs that have gone to New Zealand, kind of what we now think of the students or whoever they were, and this is going back 5-6 years now. And what they would do is they'd hire out a massive hall, like a warehouse, and for 5, 6, 7, 8 days just do prakash of Maharaj Swarup and do big divans. Not like the kind of smartphones we get here. This is all just raw Sangha. There was no Mela vibes. There was no like toy shop or whatever, you're selling toys or someone selling golgappe. No offense to the golgappe bhej, I think Bhaji's there. Golgappe bhej, do you sell golgappe, Bhaji? There you are. Nice. Judges Haveli, they'll be in Slough as well, by the way, I think, on the boxing tournament. So it was nothing like that. It was purely just like raw Sangha, simple prasad. And Gyaniji was there. And he said something which is quite profound in my opinion. He goes, it is so easy to get caught up in emotion. Because this was December time as well. So easy to get caught up in emotion. Bhai Mani Singh Ji was cut piece by piece and trying to experience and feel that. But we forget what leads people to that point. We forget that who was Bhai Mani Singh Ji. How did they, not just the story behind their shahidi, them being cut piece by piece or dismembered, but what were they doing when they're 15 years old, 16 years old? How did they become the great Bhai Mani Singh? So what I want to do today, even though the theme is Jinane Band Band Kataya, we're just going to focus as a small part of the talk on the background of Bhai Mani Singh, just to understand who they were. And then after that, we'll go on to the shahidi and how our historians cover that. So if you go a couple of slides forward, Hanji. So we're going to look at 4 aspects: their parvar, their seva, what they did in the Guru's house before their shahidi, then how great of a scholar they were, and what vidwan they were, we use the word in Punjabi, and ultimately we'll look at their shahidi, how their shahidi as well, how they were dismembered and killed. So we start with their parvar. They were born in a pind called Alipur. So a lot of this is from Shahid Balas, if anyone wants to go back and look. But Gyani Seva Singh, he records this history in Shahid Balas. So in Pakistan, they were born in the modern day Pakistan, and their whole family, now just look at, if you read history, you'll recognize some of these names. This is what makes Bhai Mani Singh who he is. Their grandfather, Bhai Balu Rai, was Shaheed in the first Battle of Amritsar in Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji's time. Their father was Bhai Maidas, had 11, just stop there, 11 male siblings. We've got one mate, we're dead, like, it's hard, literally, it is so difficult raising one. Imagine being a mother to 12, 13, 14 kids, like, they were younger when they got married and stuff like that. But we've got one, we are defeated. It took us 4 years over that trauma to think about number 2, to be fair with you. We were like, honestly, it's so difficult. And you think about these mama and these families, had huge families, and how they raise them, and how we challenge or find it so difficult to raise our young kids. And sometimes we wish, I wish my pardada, my great-grandfather was alive to help me here as well. We want as many hands on board, but it's difficult. It is difficult, I'm not denying that. But they had 11 male siblings, of which 10 were martyrs. By the Ardaas, by the Allaji, for example, who is with Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji. Then, if you're married to Sito Bhai or Basant Kaur, they write this Tiaskar, right? They had 10 male children, of which 7 were martyrs. Our Vidvans, our scholars say that around about between 20 to 25 directly linked members of Bhai Mani Singh Ji's family were Shaheed. Directly linked. That's not Chache, Tai, that's not cousins, that's those who have got direct lineage to Bhai Mani Singh Ji. And we'll look at the next picture. We see a few of them over here. So who were Bhai Mani Singh Ji's children? Bhai Bajittar Singh, who fought with the Nagri Barsha. That was Bhai Mani Singh Ji's child. I think one of the oldest. Bhai Uday Singh was that Guru Ka Sikh. When Pravar Vishora was about to happen, before Sarsa Nadi, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji in those days, in those horrifying days in December, when they left Anandpur Sahib, the whole bunch, the whole community led by Guru Gobind Singh Ji were crossing Sarsa Nadi, they're going towards it. Bhai Uday Singh was that Guru Ka Sikh who knew that there's only one option here, which is death. He stayed back and protected the rear guard. He stayed back, fought alongside Baba Ajit Singh Ji, while safely Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Mata Sahiban, Mata Gujjar Ji, their mother, all of them were able to cross over. Bhai Uday Singh was that Guru Sikh. He knew death was the only option. He knew there's only no way out. They stayed back and protected the rear guard. That's Bhai Uday Singh Ji. You got, and they say here, 29 members of their family were Shaheed of Bhai Mani. 10 brothers, 7 sons, 11 grandsons. And when you look at their patije means like, like your brother's children, or your sister's children, or whatever it might be, or their dote, or pote, or if you start counting those, Gyani Pindarpal Singh Ji says, you got about 60, 70 members of their family were Shaheed. 60, 70 members of our families. Just think about that. That's literally wiping your lineage out. There's nothing left. So that's what their background is in terms of parivar. Their parivar came from a parivar of shahidiyan. They joined the community, they joined the Sikh Panth in the times of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji through his grandfather, and then continue serving. But Bhai Mani Singh Ji's actually doesn't start with Guru Gobind Singh Ji. A lot of people think that Bhai Mani Singh Ji starts with Guru Gobind Singh Ji. But in actual fact, Itihas are writing that Bhai Mani Singh Ji starts with seva. Their whole life starts with just one word, seva, based on a bhajan from Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, based on a var, a kind of prophecy you want to say, whatever you want to say, words from Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji. What happens is Bhai Mani Singh Ji came as a 13-year-old young lad to Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji's seva. They came with their mother and father, they were a young lad, and they started doing seva in the Guru's house. And they would just spend a lot of time washing pande. And then one day Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji was walking past and he sees this kid, and they just call him Mania. His name was Maniram, Mania. That was his nickname. And Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji gives us a beautiful bhajan to them. And this is what I always reflect on, and what I always say is, for the sayings we're learning Vidya, I want to learn Katha, learn Kirtan, Jo bhi, these are the bhajans we need to live. Because if we look at the ultimate scholar in our faith is Bhai Mani Singh Ji. No one wrote more than Bhai Mani Singh Ji. No one did as much as Bhai Mani Singh. These are the words, if you want academic success, whatever you want, these are the words that Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji said to Bhai Mani Singh Ji, which we hold on to today. They go, Siri Mukhtay Furmayo Aise. That Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji looked at Bhai Mania, 13 years old. He spent 2 years in Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji's charan. 2 saal unhe Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji charna chilai. Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji looks at them because Siri Mukhtay Furmayo Aise. That Guru Har Rai Ji looked at them, and with their mouth they uttered the words towards them. Tu bartan manjunga jaise. As you wash the pande of the sangat. You have to remember, you go to a restaurant, there's plenty of jute pande there. You go to Mr. Singh's or wherever you go, there's plenty of pande there. But what's the difference between those guys washing pande and the difference between us washing pande in a gurdwara? Ki farak hai? What's the difference? Some might say, "Wahi gal hai, pande need to get washed." They do it, we do it. What's the difference? But the difference is that when we wash pande, we come with the intention, that, "Hey Guru Ramdas, that you're going to take away my paap. You're going to take away my anxieties. You're going to take away all my sins. Anything that's on my mind, you will take it away." That's why we wash pande in the Guru's house. You don't see the guy at Mr. Singh's going, "Yeah, my WhyGuru, WhyGuru, WhyGuru," and washing pande. You don't see the guy at all these restaurants saying, "WhyGuru, WhyGuru," washing pande and thinking, "Mese paap katti jaoge na." The whole point of washing pande is to be selfless. Or I'm not washing these pande because someone's going to pay me. I'm washing these pande so Maharaj will clean my mind. All that filth, gand, whatever might be on my mind, my thoughts, what I've seen, heard and done, you're going to wash that away, Maharaj. So Sri Mukhtay Farmayo aise, tu bartan manjunga jaise, taise buddh hai suddh tamari. In that way, as you wash that panda one by one, this way, taiso buddh hai suddh tamari, your intellect will become pure. As you wash those pande, we have to have this system of seva, of washing pande in our jivan. If we want to get somewhere in life, in our Sikhi, we have to start washing pande. Even if you don't want to get somewhere in Sikhi taurte, have enough humility to come in and wash the pande. And I'll give you a challenge. The challenge is really simple. Wash pande and try not judge that auntie who brings a full plate of kheer back. Try not to judge that little lad who comes as the prashada uddai dal che pijya. Try not to judge that little lad. Try not judge those people for some reason or not leave their paneer out. And that's when you start thinking, this is difficult. This is tough, not judging someone based on what they're bringing forward to you. So Maharaj says, and in this way, the knowledge will be instilled deep within you. It will not just be surface level, okay, I can recite this, I can do that, or whatever it might be. It will be deep. It easily will sit deep within you, so it comes out beautifully out of you as well. So that's the bhajan that Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji gave directly to Bhai Mani Singh Ji when they're 13 years old. And they spent 2 years at Sri Kirtan Sahib with Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji Maharaj, and then their father and their mother asked for permission, okay, let's take Bhai Mani Singh Ji to get married at 15. That explains how you can have X amount of children. At 15, he was left with his mother and father to go and get married. So I'm not going to go down to his marriage route and everything, that's going to go too much. But these are the bhajans that they had from Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji. And if you take anything away today, if you want to take anything, just take this away. Okay, in our community, the first thing we believe in, or not first thing, many things we believe in to be fair, but an important part of our faith is doing seva. Seva comes in many forms, doing Jor Sahib or Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Sometimes you see this in Sangat, there's like fashionable seva, like the cool seva, like to sit and like when doing something and you're taking Maharaj's Roop or doing a hukum number, these are like fashionable seva, look good, people think, yeah, the great guy's really good, man, look how good his part is. That's tika, that's seva, I'm not knocking that, it is seva, someone needs to do it. But the true seva, the kamai, comes in places like the Langar Hall washing Pandey. There's a Singh in Slough who I always look at with so much respect. Again, Slough, great place. Please don't move there. You lot are rising, you South or Hayes, Hillingdon lot are raising the prices in Slough, man. Don't see ticket, this right, that's, get that message out to the world, please. Not only in all the groups, don't see ticket, there's a Singh in Slough now who does, I won't name him or give too much information about him because it's unfair to him. He's a Siana Singh. He does Punjab Pyar and Seva for one of the Jathebandi, in fact. He gives Amrit, and he's one of the people who go, and for a number of years have been giving Amrit to a lot of people, and he's very well respected within his circle. And he will be at the Gurdwara every day. He's retired, so just help a little bit. But he's at the Gurdwara every day just washing Pandey. Every day. Every Sunday he'll be there washing Pandey. Every day. He's a lovely geezer. Geezer's probably not the right word. He's a great changa pala guru ka sekhya. But he's every single day, and I often look at him and he said things to me in the past which make me think like there's something different. There's a big difference between us. So if I start washing Pandey, he would say to me, stop washing Pandey, tu jaake prachar ka. You can speak, you go in front of people and speak. And I'm thinking like, really, it shouldn't be me, my 3 panda kind of geezer, watch 3 pandas and my wrist hurts, something like that, or someone takes a picture and I think, oh, done, job done, I'm in the camera, committee seen me, great. And I'm looking at him thinking, these are the people that need to be on stage doing prachar, because they're literally, they are trying their best to live Sikhi. I'm not saying he's perfect because someone says to me, oh, dangal kardo, idam bol pe mainu. I don't know who's perfect, but when you kamaya jeevan and you start seeing, inna ne kamaya, some people ne kamaya, and they spent years, and look at him thinking, he sat there every morning for the last 50 odd years going, Ik Oankar, Satnam Karta, Purkhanirpa, Unirvarakal, for the last 50 years he's done his Nitnem. Sanu the para like the Nitnem Kar, not me included. For 50 odd years he's done his Nitnem. Just think about that, 50 years he spent there reading his Nitnem. So anyway, I'll go off track. The Guru Haraj Sahib Ji gave that bachan to Bhai Mani Singh Ji. And then we want to look at the character of Bhai Mani Singh. I keep talking about this idea of going beyond their Shahidi, not because their Shahidi is not important, but just to try to understand who they were as a person. The word of Shahid Balas, this is how they describe Bhai Mani Singh. I haven't done the translation, so hopefully you'll listen to understand what's written. They say that, what was Bhai Mani Singh Ji like? What was his, I'm going to say the word properly now, his character like? You see Punjabi uncles in the committee, their character came, they don't say character, What was his character like? What was his actual persona like? This is how Shahid Balas describes Bhai Mani Singh. They go, Seva si karata te rahanta gora pas sada. That Bhai Mani Singh Ji would do a lot of seva in the Guru's house. And he would, rahanta gora pas sada. He would always stay within the Guru's sanctuary. He'd always be with the Guru. Itihas ka right. Now, Bhai Mani Singh Ji was a Hazuri Sikh. He'd always be close to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Guru Gobind Singh Ji given direct orders, ki Mani Singh iddan kar kiya. Lik lik bani kare pothiyan tiyar eh. That Bhai Mani Singh. And I often think to myself, sometimes we think my seva is this. And it might be like, my seva is to write a Gotka Sahib, or write Maharaj's Roop, or my seva is to teach this, my seva is to do Kirtan, my seva is to do whatever. And I look at Bhai Mani Singh, bloody hell man, he did everything. Every seva was his. They say, lik lik bani kare pothiyan tiyar eh. That he would write pothiyan. It's written that from the times of Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji, that he was writing Gurbani. So, writing Gurbani, lik lik pothi bani kare pothiyan tiyar hai. He write Gurbani de pothiyan and give them out to Sangata. Parda paranda te jatanda nahi aapatahi. That he would teach people and learn themselves. Parda paranda. Aap parda se, he himself would learn, continue to learn. Paranda, duje nu parana. Jatanda nahi aapatahi. But he never used to say, look, main I'm the big one, I'm the big ustad, I'm the big teacher, I'm the great one, I know the most, I'm with Guru Gobind Singh Ji, minnu pucho. Never. Jatai means, jatanda nahi aapatai. Jatanda means to put yourself, make yourself feel important. Give yourself more self-importance. Don't get me wrong, there's a time and place for everything, you know? There's a time and place for everything. But within the Sangat, we're trying to cap some of those things to limit them, you know? We're trying to keep those a little bit more humble within us. So going down into the UN, for example, and you start saying Das ne dan menu kuch nahi aunda manu UN but then UN but what bithata fir. No, what I'm trying to say is that if you're going to go somewhere to represent the community, for you go to the UN and you start saying, oh, I don't know anything, Ardaas, what are we sending you there for? It's a time and place for everything, you know? And especially in the Guru's house, we keep that under, keep our egos and we keep our jatona and our ego just to a little bit of a limit, and we cap it a little bit. Man niva mat uchi eh dil tar eh. What did he tar in his heart? In the dil ki tarya. What did he keep with the deep within his heart? Man niva mat uchi. Man niva means to be just a little bit humble. Not a little bit. Man niva raka to be humble. Mat uchi, but his mindset was better than anyone's. They would think better. We might think, we have our mind lowered in humility, but our mind, reality is going crazy. So we might be saying, I'm just a humble person. I'm not good. But really we're like, oh no, this is that. They were genuinely humble, but their mindset was uchi. They could think beyond small things, bitter, being bitter towards people. Punjabis, we love a little bit of They're beyond all this. Mat uchi, to think the best of people. To give people a chance, to try and work with people and get the best out of them. There's a lot more to say about Mat uchi, but I'm going to stop there. Hati, tapi, pura, Sikhi, siddhakada, putalasi. That he was the very form of Sikhi. Putala means like the very form of Sikhi. That's who Bhai Mani Singh Ji was. The very form. Whatever you think of Sikhi, you think what Sikh looks like, that's what Bhai Mani Singh is. Hati, tapi, pura. That they were a great hati tapi, so they would sit and meditate for hours at end, to read all their part, they read Panj Granthi, Bani, Jap, they said they had all of those qualities. Absolute faith in the Guru's house. They had it all. And they were the putla, the very form and the essence of Sikhly. Sakhiyan siddhakadiyan karda uchar ehe. Now what he would do, he would say, and we know from Itihas, that Bhai Mani Singh Ji themselves wrote history books, and they would say and recite, and other people, Guru Bilas Pat Sai Shaving was written by Mani Singh Ji's student, but Bhai Mani Singh Ji reciting it, and the students would be writing. Sakhi Siddhak diyan karda uchar ehe. And he would tell the Sangat Sakhiyan of Siddhak. Siddhak means, it's hard to translate words like Siddhak, but the way I look at it, is about honor, about pride, about being, I'm an honorable Sikh, and I'm proud to be a Sikh. Not from a place of like hangar, but you know what? I'm proud to be a Singh, and what? Dunya bhave ek paase hove, asi ek paase khar longe tiyar hain. The whole world could be on one side. I'm happy to stand with my Guru on the complete opposite side. It's that Siddhak, which kind of, that deep faith within him. He used to get Sakhiyan tiyar, he would recite Sakhiyan, which instilled faith and honor within the community, within the Singhs and the circles. Seva hari even keve beet gaye barak kai. Ke seva hari, Guru Sahiban di seva karde na, seva hari even keve beet gaye barak kai. Barak means years, but kinne saal idda nange, where he would just be living these words. Writing Gurbani, teaching, humility, doing their japa tap, doing his Nitnem, doing his part, Sakhi Siddhak diyan, doing katha, telling people Sakhi of Siddhak, Seva Hari, serving the Guru's house, the Guru Sahiban, and even keve beet gaye bark kai, patni kinne saal da nang ge inni seva karde. And the last thing they say, Jodh ke karan vich vadda hoshyar ehe, that in the act of war, in warfare, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇੰਨੇ ਤਿਆਰ ਸੀ. They were just as bright, strategic, smart in war as well. I use the word strategic really carefully because sometimes I think as a community we lack a strategy in many ways. And we see it on the Gurdwara level, sometimes we see it on the community level. But Bhai Mani Singh, you think about what they experienced. Unhone ki handaya is the word we use, what they experienced and saw through. You think these had some sort of strategy to keep the Panth alive. For even when the numbers were dwindling to thousands, now we're back in the millions, living gloriously. But they had some sort of strategy. They had some sort of damag to keep the community alive. And leaders like Bhai Mani Singh were instrumental in making sure that the Panth continued to thrive no matter what the situation was. So we just want to spend it through. They were a scholar and a leader. Guru Gobind Singh Ji made them a Diwan, after one of the Diwans passed away, Guru Gobind Singh said, Diwan would be like the minister, the prime minister, whatever you want to call it. They made him the Diwan. They served as the head Granthi at Sri Amritsar, Sri Darbar Sahib. They authored various texts. They were a leader and they resolved issues between two groups developing within the Panth. And there's so much over here which you can spend easily an hour talking about each of those bullet points. But that's just their contribution to, in terms of a leader and a scholar. And every single one of us needs to wake up our leader within us. Wake up that bit which says, you know what, I need to start leading. I'm not saying go out and start leading the whole world or start thinking you're bloody Boris Johnson or something. I'm saying, you know what, start taking in leadership in our families. Start leading our kids by example. Let's start leading our families into a better path. Because change will only, I had someone today from Godura, they go, they're saying we need something in Hanslow, because Hanslow, you know, we need someone to sing. You know, we need someone in Hanslow, you know, you need to come into Hanslow and change the Godura. I was like, dude, like, Hanslow, seriously? Like, Hanslow? No way, man. There's not store there. Keep saying, see, level, whatever, this, they must see thing. I was like, I just said to him, like, bro, like, what do you expect? Like, why can't you do it? ਦੋ ਤਿੰਨ ਬੰਦੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਕੇ even on your own, I've served in Godore on my own committees, ਜਾਓ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਣਾ. Don't expect someone magical to come along and change the Godore. We need to start leading. We need to start going to institutions, getting involved in the mess. It's disgusting. The mess is hard work, but if we don't go up to clean, if we don't start cleaning up a mess, the mess will stay there. It will continue from one generation to the next generation. So we need to then compile that mess and have our mat uchi, have our morals higher and better to sustain ourselves in that mess. So Bhai Mani Singh Ji was that leader, took the Panth, had many situations, resolved disputes between the Bandais and Tata Khalsa, which is a fantastic Sakya of faith there as well. So I just want to share with you just two pictures. This is the image of Bhai Mani Singh Ji's Swaroop. They wrote a Swaroop of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and the Dasam Granth Sahib together. And this Swaroop still exists. A Professor Ganda Singh, I think they were about 69, 68, 70, 68 or something like that years old when they wrote this whole Swaroop. And you got the Swaroop of Bhai Mani Singh Ji. You can get PDFs of this online. It's still in Delhi at this moment as well. That's the opening ang of Sri Japji Sahib of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And in the second image is the opening ang of Sri Dasam Granth Sahib Ji. So that's Bhai Mani Singh Ji when they're 60, 70 years old writing these Swaroops. And they're immense historical importance to us as well. So, time check, time's looking okay. And I'll say that Sangyani Guru Bachar Singh Ji was Mani Singh Sant Sujan. They know that Bhai Mani Singh Ji was like a saint. Sujan means a very wise person, a knower of things. And the last thing I'll share about how great Bhai Mani Singh Ji's seva was, the Swaroop that was given Gurta Gaddi, the Swaroop which Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Sachkhand Sri Hazur Sahib Nandir, Abachal Nagar, the Swaroop that was given Gurta Gaddi by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, who said from now on, the Guru, the Swaroop, Guru Granth Sahib Ji will be the Guru, was the Swaroop written by Bhai Mani Singh Ji. Bhai Mani Singh Ji is one when Guru Gobind Singh Ji would recite all of Gurbani off by heart. Bhai Mani Singh Ji was listening. Just think about that. Listening and then scribing at the same time that Swaroop, which we know as the Dam Dama Sahib Swaroop. And I say one thing here, people have to say that, we might think, like, how can Guru Gobind Singh Ji recite Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji off by heart? And we might think, like, how is that possible? They are bande kar lende. But it's quite a well-known fact. Bhai Khan Singh Ji's Naba's father had Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji off by heart. All of Guru Granth Sahib Ji off by heart. If a Sikh can memorize from Ik Oankar to 18 hai 10 20, then what can the Guru do? The Guru can memorize it 5, 6 times. You know, literally, we can't limit the Guru. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji off by heart recited all of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And again, it was Bhai Mani Singh Ji who wrote the Swaroop of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. That was then given Gurta Gaddi, not in Nandir Sahib. So, I'm going to move on there to the Shahidi now. So we've got about 15-20 minutes and then we'll call it a day. Now, the Sakhi comes of Shahidi, that Bhai Mani Singh Ji is established as a leader. The whole community will go to Bhai Mani Singh Ji if there's a problem. They were at this point based at Sri Harmandir Sahib, Sri Darbar Sahib, or the Golden Temple. At this point, the Sikh Sangatan would gather on a number of occasions throughout the year. So one of them would be Bandi Shor or Diwali, as we call it. And at Diwali, what would happen is Bhai Mani Singh Ji, or historically the whole Sangha, it still happens today, all of Sikh Sangatan would go to Sri Darbar Sahib, and we have Diwali at Darbar Sahib. Even to this day, all the Nahang Singhs, the Dal Pantha, they all gather in front of the Sri Akal Takht Sahib and they do various things there, Kardeya. And Bhai Mani Singh Ji, being the head Granthi, the leader of the community at that point, then established a program to invite everyone. I'm going to kind of whiz through this a little bit. And what happened is they spoke to the Sarkar, and the Sarkar said, fine, you can have a gathering for all your Sikh Jathibandiyan, because this time the community wasn't as strong or out there as we see now. It's pretty much quite a lockdown, difficult period for the Panth. And people were killing the Panth, killing Singhs as well. So all the Singhs are gathered and scattered around what we see as India now, Rajasthan, all these various places. The Sikhs are gone, the Singhs are gone into underground. But Bhai Mani Singh Ji was based at Darbar Sahib, and they said, we're going to celebrate Diwali at Darbar Sahib this year. They spoke to the necessary people, and they said, you've got to give a tax of, I don't know, 500, 5,000 rupees, whatever it was, the figure's irrelevant. And Bhai Mani Singh Ji goes, why? They go, no, to tax parna penda, you got to give us a tax. At this point, Bhai Mani Singh said, theek hai. And as a couple of days went by, or whatever time period went by, they sent out chittiyan to all the Sikh Sangatan ke Eid ki Diwali te Sikhan da, Singhan da ikat hona hai. That will be a gathering at Diwali in Sri Darbar Sahib, Harmandir Sahib. And at this point, Bhai Mani Singh Ji got a wing of some information, realised that actually Sarkar di niyat kharab hai. That the Sarkar, the Hukumat of that time, their intentions were bad. But what they would have done, or their intention was to let the Singhs gather at Sri Darbar Sahib and at one time attack Darbar Sahib and finish off as many as they can. Bhai Mani Singh Ji got wind of this information, and at this point they then said to the Sarkar, they told the Singhs, don't come to Darbar Sahib for Diwali te tusi na pahuncho, and they cancelled the program. The Sarkar, the Hukumat, the government, they then said to them, ke sada tax paro, you got to pay us a tax. Bhai Mani Singh Ji said, why? We never did anything. I said, Nani. They said, no, that's irrelevant. You need to pay the tax. Tax piche, just out of a small reason. There was no reason. They then arrested Bhai Mani Singh Ji and took them to Lahore, to the Nawab, to the governor of Lahore. And we're going to pick the Sakhi up from here now, because we're going to use the words of Pant Prakash Ratan Singh Pangu to understand what happens when Bhai Mani Singh Ji attends and goes into that Darbar. What happens at this point? And I'll say one last thing is, Itihas is a fantastic resource. When we look and analyse it with the Kasavatti of Gurbani, when we look and analyse it through the lens of Gurbani, because we can read Itihas and we might think, what does that mean? What does it mean here? We have to look through the lens of Gurbani of what is happening. And so what happens is Bhai Mani Singh Ji, along with a few other Sikh, go into the Nawab Kacheri, the court, and this is how our Itihas now speaks about what happens. So I'm going to ask my brother Bhai Sukhdeep Singh to just read the Panktiya, and then we'll go through it together.
WhyGuru Sahib Ji Khan Kahiyo Hoha Musliman.
So the Nawab said to Bhai Mani Singh, Mani Singh, tu Musliman ban ja, convert. And I look at this time and I see some people leaving Sikhi or whatever they might go into, and I think, you know what, fine, who cares? Don't really care, we don't need you anyway. Why do we need you? Point I'm trying to make, the jokes aside, is that ultimately, this is what it means to keep Sikhi alive. That when under the threat of death, someone is saying to you, convert, and you refuse, blank in their face, that's what keeps Sikhi alive. Nothing else will. It's none of the Galna, nothing else will. This is what keeps Sikhi alive. And this is what's kept Sikhi alive. Because the Singhs, the Bibiyan, those people in the face of death refused. And those people still exist today. In the 80s and all the stuff that we've seen, those who laugh in the face of death, they still exist today, man. We just haven't seen them. But they exist. They're amongst those who have faced death and laughed at it. So it says, Nawab said to Bhai Mani Singh, that convert yourself. Do Islam, or the word they use is revert. Revert into what? Like, literally, going back 5,000 years. Don't see when you're what you reverting to? And we marry jande Khan kayo ho Musliman. They said convert to Islam. Then if you want to live, then it will let you live. Just convert to Islam and we'll let you live. Galta AC. This was the only thing. Tax was a bahana, was an excuse. Tax was irrelevant. The point was there are two opinions. There are two strategies at this point. One, convert Bhai Mani Singh. The rest will follow. You convert top. Bhai Mani Singh, you're right at the top of the institution or the community, the rest will follow suit. or you remove that layer. You remove Bhai Mani Singh. You remove that layer, they lose their leader. Either way, it's a win-win. They said कि now tad छोड़ोगे तुम्हारी जान. At this point, we will let you live.
Singh ne kahiyo hum sidq na haare.
And Bhai Mani Singh ji replied कि Singho कहो सिद्क ना हारे that I would never leave my faith. मैं कभी सिद्क my honor मैं कभी नहीं छोड़ूंगा.
Janm par sidq so gaare.
Because there's so many times, you know what, I've gone through so many life forms to get this opportunity to be a Singh. There's so many opportunities I've had. I don't know where I'm don't know where I've been, but now I've got this chance, not just to become a Singh, but to show the world what it means to keep your case intact, to keep your Sikhi intact, to keep your Siddiq intact, that this is the opportunity. In fact, you lot have given me the opportunity to prove to the world that how Qimati, how glorious Sikhi is.
Dehi kiski bapari Sikhi je sabat ho.
And Bhai Mani Singh replies with this. They go, okay, the whole point of our body, you know, Dehi kiski bapari Sikhi je sabat hoye. The whole point of our body, you know, this Gyani Gyan Singh goes into a little bit more depth. They said that you can kill me, but you can't kill me. You can kill this body of Bhai Mani Singh ji, but you can never kill the spirit of Bhai Mani Singh ji. You can never kill that. And that's what Bhai Mani Singh said. You say, look, the body is irrelevant. Dehi kiski bapari, aaj mar jugi, kalu mar jugi, we're all going to die one day, we're all going to fall. Someone might fall and walk down Broadway and might get chopped up by some of the crazy things that happen in Southall. Some people might die in a bed in a manja. Some people die in different places. Marna the Sarya, and I wish you on no one to see their families obviously dying in families, but that is the truth. They go, the body preservation of the body is irrelevant, provided Sikh is to preserve his faith. Sikhi je sabat hoye, the Sikhi stays intact and preserved. And you use the word sabat to prove to the world what Sikhi is.
Deh to avan jaan hai, Sikhi labbe kab ko.
Deh to avan jaan hai, that this body will come and go. Sikhi labbe kab koe, that Sikhi is the most important thing. And during the testing times, this is when your Sikhi is proven. It is easy to live as a Sikh, as a Singh, as a Bibi during good times. And I'm not talking about Amritaris, I'm just Uddayana. It's easy to have faith in good times. When things are going your way, it's really easy to have faith. And you're doing well, Bhai is going well, you've got a full-time job, you're married, you've got kids, everything's tick, tick, tick in the life's big list of ticks. That's easy. The real Sikhi is tested when a hurdle comes your way. Odon Sikhi di park hundiya. That is when you are tested as Sikh. That at the end of that situation, that time period, where will your Sikhi be? Will it be tatters on the ground and you're thinking, yaar main bhi Sikh ban ke pange le le? Or you're going to be solid in your faith and use your Sikhi to get through that time. So, Bhai Mani Singh ji's Ardaas, this is in Panth Prakash, a slightly different point, but they talk about this Ardaas. They go, this is meri Ardaas hai, ke meri Sikhi sabat rahe, band kaat ta neh duk hai, that if my Sikhi remains intact, this is my Ardaas. That's the only thing. And they already prophesied before कि बंद बंद काट तो नह दुख है that if I was cut piece by piece मैंने कोई दुख नहीं महसूस होना. Nothing will happen to me. I will remain intact. My Sikhi will remain intact. Sikhi मैं किच भंग ना पवे देह सीस तुरक न सिर पवे. That may my Sikhi never देही Sikhi मैं किच भंग ना पवे कोई फर्क ना पवे मेरी Sikhi च. May there be no compromise in my Sikhi, my belief. May there never be anyone who tries to, when I ever start questioning my Sikhi, because the whole point of this body is to go and fight against the Mughals, is to go and fight against the enemy. That against the Turks of the time is to go and battle against them. That's why in that time period, that's what was happening. And the whole point of my Sareed is to fight against the Dusht. That if my body is cut, I will not महसूस कोई दुख नहीं मैंने महसूस होना. I feel no pain. Sikhi रहे मैं वर्ड सुख जानो. So long as my Sikhi remains intact, that is the greatest peace I can ever want. And at this point, I just want to take us back. They were in their 80s at this point. To go back to when they were 13 years old in Guru Harai Sahib's charan, and they were washing the Pande. They were washing the Pande of the Sangat. For 2 whole years they stayed with Guru Sahib at Sri Kirtpur Sahib and washed the Pande. Probably wants to say this is what washing Pande can do. But it's not just the act of washing Pande, this is what faith can do. This is the power of faith. This is the power of the Guru's house. This is the power of the blessings of Guru Ramdas. So all that seva they did for this whole 70 odd years, inni seva kiti, that's why they can then go on over here and give their Qurbani. And I'm going to flip this the other way. I'm going to flip it. Bhai Mani Singh Ji was the greatest scholar, had all the knowledge you could think of. All the kamai, all the bandagi, all the meditation, all the discipline, Bhai Mani Singh Ji had it. It ek pakya, and Bhai Mani Singh Ji band katya gaya, dismembered piece by piece. I'll flip it. And I was talking to one of the Singhs, and he made a point which is so great, it's so profound. He goes, in the 80s, the Singhs who gave Shahidiyan, the Bibiyan who gave Shahid in the 80s, they were in their Javani, 20 years, 23, 24, whatever years age they were. They didn't know any of this. If you think about it, they're born in the, they're born in 80, they've seen 84. Punjab is in a lockdown, it's a very big mahal, a very difficult time period. And in the 90s, these people are giving Shaheed, and they know nothing. They don't know the history, they know bits and whatever they heard over the years, but they've had no kind of, I'm going to start on page 1 and I'm going to read all the history of Sikhs. They had none of that. But they still had the ability to give their head. They still had the ability to give Shaheedi. And you think bloody hell, like, what's in these blood? What is it? What is the difference between us and those? And I'll give you another simple thing. I don't know if it's the right thing to say in this. Say no, so doing it. Some people say, okay, or whatever. We might say, look, oh, we want to have a bit of ganja, whatever you want to call it. What was it called in English? Weed. That's it. We want to have this. We want to put in a drink. We want to smoke it, whatever. And I'll be honest with you. If you just read historical texts, and you might read things like that, you will read things like that, Tikya. And I got thinking one day, and I thought to myself, yeah, in the 80s, if this didn't happen, maybe I'd question myself, maybe I'd doubt myself, maybe I would think drinks with cannabis were appropriate or useful in today's age, yeah? I would not even think that. And I said to myself one thing, I realised that what drink or what drugs, what theme, sharab, nashe, patte, jovia, did Bhai Sukhdev Singh Babbar drink? Did he? No. And these people, Bhai Menga Singh Ji, who's been shot on the head and says Chardikla, what did they take? Nothing. You got some of the Babbar Singh Ji that sings the Taksal, that are given the Shaheed and Gyani Moor Singh, who put his old kids on the line. What did they take? Nothing. If they don't need any of this to sustain their life, so why do we? Why do we need to believe that our Pratan Shaheeds did it? Because what we've seen 30, 40 years ago, people without no sharab, without no nashe, no patte, no drinks, nothing, fight like warriors that we'll never see. Fight like superheroes we read about and watch in Avengers. Where do you think, why do we need to think that Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji needs something? Why? Why do we need to say that Bhai Mani Singh Ji needs some sort of intoxicant to live and survive? The ones in the 80s didn't. Do we think they're different than the ones in 1700s? If the 80s did not happen, they did not show us what Sikhi is about, what it means to do Shahidi, what it means to have your hand in your palm, and to fight without anything but the Guru's word on your lips. If they didn't do that, we might believe that people need intoxicants, you might need sharab, you might need feme, whatever. But because they prove that you don't, in my opinion, you don't need anything. You just need the Guru's words on your mouth. You need the Guru's words on your lips, you need the WhyGuru mantra on your lips, and the Guru's blessings. Because you can be the greatest scholar, or you can be someone who doesn't know anything. If you have the Guru's blessing on your head, Shahidi becomes a joke. It literally, you laugh in the face of death. And that's what Bhai Mani Singh Ji proved, and what our brothers and sisters in the 80s proved as well. So moving on, and then this happens. And then the Nawab said that what is the right way to kill the Singh then? Because he's refusing to convert. So what is the right way to Singh no kive mariye? And then they said they got the Qajis, the Muslim priests, and said what is written in the Quran? Quran chi ki likhiya? And then the Qaji, the Muslim priest, and he said that how is written within the Quran, within the Hidayat, so within all of their faith and the text and the Sharia, that's how we should then go and kill Bhai Mani Singh. And he gave a fatwa he gave, he proclaimed that this is how Bhai Mani Singh Ji made Shaheed. And in Mani Singh dina band jodon ke inna de band katya karo. Again, piece by piece. So the English word is dismembered. I only learned that today, to be fair. All the time I was saying band piece by piece, but dismembered is the right word. I hope I'm saying it right as well. That it be cut piece by piece, limb by limb. ਕੱਲਾ ਕੱਲਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਭਾਈ ਮਨੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਕਰ ਦੋ
ਕਰ ਚਾਹੀਏ ਜਗਤ ਦਿਖਾਵੋ
and ਇਵੇਂ ਦਿਖਾਓ ਨਾ let the whole community the whole Sikh Panth show them that if you cross paths with the Islamic world if you cross worlds with the Mughals ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਹਾਲ ਹੋਊਗਾ this is how you will be done as well if we can do this to Bhai Mani Singh who's at the top of your faith ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਬਚੇ ਰਹੋਗੇ how will you survive ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੜ ਕੇ ਇਵੇਂ ਹੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਕਰੋਗੇ
ਤਬ ਨਵਾਬ ਨੋ ਯੋ ਫਰਮਾਏ
ਫਿਰ ਨਵਾਬ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ he proclaimed to everyone announced it ਕਿ Bhai Mani Singh ji will be made shaheed and will be killed piece by piece
ਬੰਦ ਅਬ ਜੁਦਾ ਕਰਾਇਆ
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬੰਦ ਕਟਾਇਆ ਜਾਊਗਾ
ਚੰਡਾਲਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੁਰਤ ਫਰਾਇਆ
and then they got someone Chandalan Singh so what they got the Chandalan is a person an I hate you I can't say the word executioner I think it's the right way to say it ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਸੀ ਜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਸਲੋ 'ਚ ਜੰਮੇ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਦੇਸੀ ਆ working class labor vote ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹੀ ਆ okay vote labor please ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ I was going to make a joke about Labour, but no, I won't. ਸਾਡਾ ਹੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਆ ਚੰਡਾਲਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੁਰਤ ਫੜਾਇਓ they got the person and they said ਇਹਨੂੰ ਮਾਰ ਦੋ Bhai Mani Singh ਨੂੰ ਕੱਟ ਦੋ piece by piece they called the executioner to go and kill Bhai Mani Singh
ਖਾਸ ਚੌਂਕ ਕੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹਾਇਆ
this is an old picture of by Nakas Chowk in Lahore and they goes in this place the central place where all the people gather like a busy marketplace Nakas Chowk they took Bhai Mani Singh to make a tamasha to make a show and show Bhai Mani Singh ਆਪਾਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਕਰਨਾ
ਚੰਡਾਲ ਬੰਦ ਤਬ ਚਾਰ ਬਤਾਏ
ਫਿਰ then the Chandal the butcher that's an easy word for me to pronounce the butcher then at this point he realized that look when you keep cutting piece by piece I'm going to cut from the shoulder and ਇੱਥੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਇਹ 4-5 ਹਿੱਸੇ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ 4 cuts 5 ਹਿੱਸੇ we're going to cut in 4 places in ਫਿਰ 5 ਹਿੱਸੇ ਕਰਾ ਦੇਣੇ ਆ
ਢੰਗਾ ਕਰੋ ਜੁਦਾਏ
and we'll dismember him into what his body 2 legs and 2 arms and ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰਾ ਲੈਣਾ
ਮਨੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਉਹਨ ਸੋ ਕਹੀ
and then at this point this is where our task is phenomenal and you think like what is going on you just think this is like out of the world you think how can this even be true and the fact that we know this from our own historians from other historians cross-reference it this is what happened in the Khas Chowk on that day that when Bhai Mani Singh ji when you realize that what they were going to do he didn't cry out he didn't say nahi iddan karo mera sari la do iddan karo he didn't try and compromise find a deal let's figure it out we could talk it out let's sit down no none of that he reprimanded the butcher तब है मनी सिंह उन सो कहीं ते Bhai Mani Singh उन्होंने आगे जाके जवाब दिता
तुम बंद को जानत नहीं
that do you not know the meaning of what it means to cut someone piece by piece तब बंद को जानत नहीं तेनू पता नहीं कि बंद काट दा की मतलब है what does it mean to cut someone piece by piece
मैं बंद निज देव बताई
and that he goes कि your order is कि मैं बंद निज देव बताई that your order is to cut me piece by piece you need to fulfill your order saying don't be lazy bro मैं 5-2-4 ਕੱਟ ਕਰਕੇ 5 ਪੀਸ ਬਣਾ ਦੇਣੇ ਮੈਂ ਐਸੇ lazy job ਤੂੰ ਬੰਦੇ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ
ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੂੰ ਛੁਰੀ ਚਲਾਈ
ਦੇਖੋ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੂੰ ਛੁਰੀ ਚਲਾਈ ਤਾਂ Bhai Mani Singh ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਵੇਂ this is how you need to use your knife and cut me piece by piece
ਉਂਗਲੀਓ ਪੋਟੇ ਕਟਾਏ ਕਿ
ਪਹਿਲੇ ਉਂਗਲੀਓ ਪੋਟੇ ਕਟਾਏ first take on the nodal part of my finger so not even the whole ungli Ungli means finger, not the whole ungli. Take off that first section of my ungli. That's what it means to be cut piece by piece. Cut me from each piece of my body. Take that first very top hissa of my finger, just over there. So each finger will be 10 cuts. There will be 3 cuts. Each ungli would be. The hand will be 15 cuts before they get to the wrist. तेरा ये हुक्म है कि पहले उंगलियों पोटे कटाए. First take the small parts of my fingers and start cutting me there. Just think about that for one moment. Someone's off saying to you, guaranteed death. Do you want a painless death or do you want a death where you cut piece by piece if you get the option? I know what I would say. In my sleep, hopefully. सुत्ते पे बंदा ठीक रहता है कुछ नहीं पता लगता. So they say. That's what we would say, ना रातों रात ठीक है जो हो गया बाकी सवेर ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਚੱਕੋਗੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ but he's saying look piece by piece the death is inevitable there's only one way we're going there's only one direction and ਫਿਰ ਵੀ Bhai Mani Singh ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ
ਫਿਰ ਮੱਧ ਗੰਢੋ ਬੰਦ ਛੁਡਾਏ
and then only once you take my nodal parts of my finger then go towards my whole finger and once you've taken the whole finger ਫਿਰ ਮੱਧ ਗੰਢੋ ਬੰਦ ਛੁਡਾਏ and then once you've got all those joints then you take my finger
ਉਂਗਲੀ ਤੇ ਵਾੜ ਕਟਾਈ
and then here from here Bhai Mani Singh ji now फिर उंगली 23 वार कटाई. Then after each finger was cut in 3 places. 23 वार कटाई, 23 वारां पे 3 cuts to each finger, and that's how Bhai Mani Singh Ji's first finger was cut.
फिर पहुंचे सो बीनी छुड़ाई.
And then after that, फिर पहुंचे तक for the wrist, और फिर wrist वाला पै गए. After taking each nodal section of the hand, फिर वो wrist वाला पै गए.
चंडाल चाहे फिर मोडियो लहाई.
फिर चंडाल कहंदा, the butcher, so you know this is he's longing me out. मैं घर जाना है, टब्बर पालना है, I need to go back home and look after my family. He goes, चल उंगलियां कर ली, शौक पूरा हो गया शायद. Maybe he's little shौक to get killed piece by piece, पूरा हो गया. Now let me go to the mode, the shoulder. पर नहीं, फिर Bhai Mani Singh जी ने ठोकिया.
Mani Singh दे कुहनी अड़ाई.
Bhai Mani Singh जी ने कूनी अड़ाई. अड़ाई means to throw, his kind of get in the way. उन्हें कूनी, his elbow, he put his elbow there. कि तेरा या हुक्म यार, one day से आज को मुझे तो नहीं की ना, वो लिखते हैं ना कि Bhai Mani Singh has a conversation with the butcher. And they say, I can't remember the full word. They go, look, butcher, you do your word. And Chandala, you do your job. Let me do my job. Together, ਅਸੀਂ ਮੇਲਾ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਅੱਜ. We're going to have a little fun fair today. You do your bit, I do my bit. ਮੇਲਾ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਮੇਲ ਦਿਖਾਈ ਤਾਂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ ਪੰਕਤੀ. ਤਾਂ we're going to have a ਮੇਲਾ today. ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇਖੂਗੀ ਇਹ ਮੇਲੇ ਦੇ ਰੰਗ ਇਦਾਂ ਆ. ਤੇ we'll see that this is how ਮੇਲਾ is done. ਕਿ ਜਿੱਥੇ the butcher is doing his job and the Bhai Mani Singh, no tears, no crying, nothing. अब गुरु ਅੱਗੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਸੀਸ ਨਿਵਾ ਰਿਹਾ. He don't gives his shahidi in front of the gurus.
कुहनी कटाए फिर मोडियो लहाई.
And then once the elbows were cut, then morde lahayo, then Bhai Mani Singh ji. If you're counting, that's what, 15, 16, 17, 18 cuts are just on one side of his arms. Just one arm, 18 cuts. Fir morde lahai, and then he takes off his shoulder. Sajji, sajje paase, start on the right hand side. Fir khabbi katai, and then khabba pasa kat liya. And then the same way, his second, his left hand side, he got his fingers cut in the same way. And the same way, then he go gata gata ungal gundo badayo. Okay, by inch, piece by piece, Bhai Mani Singh ji is giving their shahidi. Piece by piece, inch by inch of their body is being cut. And then the same one, once they did sajji khabbi arms, फिर जाके उन्होंने Bhai Mani Singh जी दे पैरां वाल भी इदां ही कीता. You start with the right foot, start with his toes, and then moving on the same way he did his feet, going piece by piece. Literally in every sense, piece by piece. And the same way, his heels, knees, everything. I'm just keeping on the time. Sare Bhai Mani Singh ne band katate. At this point, the butcher, obi aag gaya ho kenda yaar idha harda hi nahi. Even he got annoyed, he got a bit restless. He takes his kirpan out of his sheath of the sword. And then took Bhai Mani Singh Ji's cease the head off and killed Bhai Mani Singh Ji's cease, took their head off at this point. He was so frustrated with Bhai Mani Singh. He said, you know what, it's a Punjabi paha baddo, kam mukao. He then took chatkar Bhai Mani Singh Ji, he did the cease off. And they farkiya ਸਾਡੇ ਚ ਤੇ Bhai Mani Singh ji ਤੇ ਇਹ ਫਰਕ ਆ someone doing seva since 13 years old, washing the pande of the sangat. Singh ji mukh gur parto bani, that Bhai Mani Singh ji on his tongue was the Guru's words. ਇਤਿਹਾਸਕਾਰ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਆ, ਗਿਆਨੀ ਗਿਆਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਲਿਖਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ Bhai Mani Singh ਜੀ ਦੀ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਸੰਤ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਕਰਤਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਸੁਖਮਨੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਆ, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਮੁਖ ਚ ਇੱਕ ਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸੀ, ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ. No screams, no hi, oh ਮੇਰੀ ਲੱਤ, ਉਹ ਭਰਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਲੱਤ ਮਾਰਤੀ, ਉਹ ਭੈਣ ਕੀ ਕਰਦਾ, none of that. ਮਾਂ ਭੈਣ ਦੀ ਗਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ. ਬਸ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ. That Bani was in Bhai Mani Singh Ji's lips, and that is what allows the Singhs and the Bibia and the Singhiya to do what we think is impossible. This is what makes it possible, is the word of the Guru's Bani. Nothing else. We can think it's this, we can think it's that, we can have conspiracy theories, whatever, but it's on the word of the Guru, the Bani of the Guru, that allows people to do the great things they do. And फिर Bhai Mani Singh ji Bani karke koi peer nahi mahsoos hui. They had felt no pain. The mind, they said before, my mind is not here. You think the body is here, but the mind is completely tuned to WhyGuru. From the form of the body that had gone away from the form, the mind is completely completely independent, detached from the body, so that any pain that we may mahsoos and feel by Mani Singh ji nu nahi lage.
Mukh so shabad badeh ucharyo.
And fir even his soul, mukh so shabad badeh ucharyo, even after they continue to recite the word of the Guru. They continue, badeh jo devi badeh hogi, odon vi mukh te shabad badeh ucharyo, odon vi paठ pari gaye.
Path sukhmani mukho uchare.
Paठ Sukhmani, Sukhmani said you the paठ Ardaas Guru Nanak, Jagad Guru Nanak, Sadguru Nanak, Sri Gurudev Nanak, or Mukho Chadar reading. And I'll tell you one example. I think I've said this before in another talk, and I'll say it again. I started the talk with bowing my head to someone else, obviously the Guru Ram Das Sache Pasha Garib Nawaz, but also to someone called Bibi Jaswant Kaur and her husband as well, by Satnam Singh. And I tell you one thing, and again, you read these words and you think, man, this is like, kidda ho lakda hai na? And she tells a story in the 90s of I will finish 8:33. I'm going to time it, 8:33, apologies. She tells a story in the 90s. So what Bhai Biji does, I've got so much respect for her. Like, you can tell the fact I keep bringing it up on a talk, which is about Bhai Mani Singh. I mentioned Biji and her husband twice. And I say Biji, she's not like an auntie or anything. She's like probably 5, 6, she's probably early 40s, if anything. They've left their lives, they went to Punjab and started opening the cases of all of those who went disappeared in the 90s. All of those who were killed in the 90s, the Singhs, from Ardaas, Parchar, Amritsar, all the places, they went and opened those cases and tried to get justice. So he was a barrister, she's a solicitor. So very well educated. He's taken the bar in India and he literally goes in front of the High Court of India and fights those cases. She tells a story. I'll digress. She tells a story of the power of Path Sukhmani Mukho Uchare. So Bhai Mani Singh Ji was doing the Path of Sukhmani Sahib, and while they were cutting him piece by piece. She told a story of a Bibi, she's a new mother, and it's a great. I can never do justice telling the story again. She's a mother, and what happened is the police. I think her husband and her brother were involved in the Sangarish, in the movement for Ajadi for Khalistan. So what happened? The police had picked her up and her child, who was literally still breastfeeding in arms, very young, less than 1 year old. Not even 1 year old. They've taken the child, and what they've done, Janaki, is they've put her in one prison cell and the child into another prison cell. But they can see each other. He's obviously going mad, crying his eyes out, and obviously a 1 year old wants the warmth of their mother, right? I've seen it in my own little one, even I'm not good enough. You can't give me milk. The warmth of a mother is a completely different thing. And the child is crying. And this Mataji, this Bibiji, whose name I've forgotten, she's there going, what can I do? He's in a different prison, sell to me. And obviously quite distraught and upset herself. Do you know what she does? She starts Gauri Mahalla Panjava. She starts Sukhmani Sahib. Ardaas Guru Nanak, Jagad Guru Nanak, Sadguru Nanak, Sri Gurudev Nanak. She starts it. And what Holly, as she reads Sukhmani Sahib, her son soothes and takes the power, takes his mum's faith from that Sukhmani Sahib and stops crying. And she goes, the mother herself told her this. Her mother was eventually made shaheed. I think her mother, is still maybe alive now. Sukhmani Sahib da path karke na, oh maa ne apne bachche nu in that jail cried to soothe them. That only happens if the child is used to listening to Sukhmani Sahib from mother. Jis bachche ne kadi sunaya nahi, it's just been something the same thing. It's only going to happen if the Mars goes Sukhmani Sahib off by heart, which is a great deal in itself. Or something off by heart, some sort of part, some sort of shabad. And I look at this Sakhi and I go back to the point, if in the 80s, our mothers, our brothers, the Singhs, the Singhania, those Bibia, they were living these words of the 1700s. They were living this. And they showed us that it can happen and it will happen and they can do it and we can do it as well. Jis sama aave ke path Sukhmani mukho uchare ke Bhai Mani Singh Ji was reading Sukhmani Sahib. And Bhai Mani Singh Ji at this point then crosses over birth and death and then goes straight to WhyGuru. And then Bhai sees payo tab tarte dur, when Bhai Mani Singh Ji's head was severed when they were cut by Mani Singh Ji. And at this point ਉਹਨੇ ਦਿਖਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਾਬਤ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ. He proved how great Sikhi is and how to keep a Sikhi intact.
ਹੈ ਕਾਰ ਜਗਤ ਮੈਂ ਭਇਓ.
ਦੁਨੀਆ ਰੋਂਦੀ ਆ ਹੈ ਕਾਰ, ਦੇਖੋ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ. Look at this butcher, look what's happening.
ਜੈ ਜੈਕਾਰ ਸਿੱਖਨ ਮਨ ਠਿਓ.
ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਨ 'ਚ ਨਾ ਅਣਖ ਜਾਗਦੀ ਆ, ਸਿਦਕ ਜਾਗਦੀ ਆ, ਜੈ ਜੈਕਾਰ that we look in glory and in pride ਕਿ ਦੇਖੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਭਰਾ ਨੇ. Look how ਭਾਈ ਮਨੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ ਪਾਈ. I'm going to end the Sakhi there by Mani Singh Ji Sakhi. I'm going to end just the last two things. Is the first thing I'll start is Guru Sakhi Jod Pargat Hoy. Sometimes in life that we look at the Sakhi, and I'll go back to the point I made very earlier with Gyani Kulwant Singh, how we can get caught up in the emotion of an event. And sometimes we might even think, you know what, Bhai Mani Singh Ji is great. I know that. It's been proven. I can see that. Bhai Mani Singh Tanya. Absolutely phenomenal. We can understand the emotion, the sacrifice, the greatness he is, but we may not be able to relate to it. Or we might think, you know what, that's so far removed from my life. Because I'm used to sleeping on a, nice firm mattress, which is, what is it called, a soft firm thing, what is it called? I've forgotten as well, obviously. Memory foam, that's it, memory. I'm used to sleeping on memory. Someone asked me, Paj, would you move to India or to Punjab? I said, if I've got memory foam mattresses, I might consider then. I said, memory foam, so the point I'm trying to make is that we might sometimes feel like, that this is so far removed from where we are and who we are. And one of the things I'm trying to work with Base of Sikhi on is a project called Finding Sikhi, which is about looking at Sakhi and stories of people like us, born maybe in the Western world, born in the materialistic world of Maya, and how they find Sikhi and how they overcome challenges with the Guru's blessings, and how they take on Sikhi to improve their life, the quality of their life, to improve the satisfaction of life, but more importantly, how they become devout Guru Ke Sikh. And prove to us over again, time and time again, that how great Sikhi is. Because there's people around from all corners of this world literally taking Sikhi on. Gore, Gale, Jovia, L people, all different walks of life are taking Sikhi on. But ek gal jarur hai na, kei bari going out and about, I'm not ready, I'm just like literally wearing gore kapre, walking around. And you get someone says, Baji Sasrikal, it's a completely random bloke, never saw it coming. You think, bloody hell, like, where Sikhi is like for such a small religion, we punch so much more above our weight. Sometimes we think everyone's doing this, everyone's doing that, but when you can compare proportions of how much the Sikh population is, we are punching way above our weight in every form, in representation, in parliament, government. We are smashing it. We just don't recognize it, and we get caught up in a bit of a negativity, and we think, oh, everyone's doing this, or people convert to this, convert to that, Punjab is becoming Isai, whatever. But when you look around, you see, actually, the Sikh community, we are smashing in every field, wherever we are, and we just need to highlight that a little bit more. So Guru Sakhi Jod Paragat Hoy is only through the Guru's teachings. Those people, some of those who are smashing it, might not have the Guru's light within them. They may be doing it for themselves. But what we need to do is get the message of Sikhi out to them, so they're happy and they're proactively and proud to represent the Guru at the same time. So not just doing it for their own worldly gain, to buy that mansion of 3.1 million or whatever, but they're doing it for their community as well, and they take that responsibility serious as well. The last thing from me is bang on 8:30, if that clock's right, is can we all just do one last thing, as Sant Gyani Kartar Singh Ji would do, is wherever they went, to sing Sir Jave Ta Jave, Mera Sikhi Sadak Na Jave. Das Pella Puruga, I'll read first, a picture of the Benti, Parandi. Just remember, we're not singing this for anyone, we're not singing this for, I normally say people put your phones away and stuff like that, to be fair, because I don't want my face plastered around. But it's inevitable, isn't it? But the whole point is just for this one moment, just say and make that pranaki. You know what? No matter what happens in life, Sir Jave Ta Jave, Mera Sikhi Sadak Nahi Jave, that I will never give up my faith. I'll never give up being proud of being a Sikh. I'm not talking about I'm going to become Martyrdom. I'm not saying that. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I want to wear the star which is bigger than hitting the roof or something. None of that. We're just saying the most basic form, that whatever happens, I will not give my Sikhi up. No matter what happens, I'll make sure my kids have their jewelry. I will send my kids to Gurdwara. I will learn Punjabi. That's the promise we're making. A very simple promise, but a promise that keeps us connected to the Guru's house, a promise which keeps us all connected, our families connected to the Guru as well. ਸੋ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਦਾਸ ਪੜੂਗਾ, ਪਿੱਛੇ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦੀ। ਸੋ ਆਲ ਰੀਡ ਇਟ ਵਨਸ, ਪਿੱਛੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਆ। ਸਿਰ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਵੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਦਕ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ, ਸਿਰ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਵੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਦਕ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ, ਸਿਰ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਵੇ, ਸਿਰ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਵੇ, ਮੇਰਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਦਕ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ, ਮੇਰਾ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਦਕ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ, ਸਿਰ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਵੇ, ਸਿਰ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਵੇ, So we'll end the talk there, but just remember that in the face of death, Jinnah is a plural. We're not just looking at Bhai Mani Singh today. We learn about Bhai Mani Singh ji in isolation, but we're looking at all of those people in the face of death, laughed in death's face. We're looking at all of those Sikh and the Sikhaniyan, the Singhaniyan, the Guru Ke Sikhane, in whatever phase they were, who laughed in the face of death and took on death like it was a joke, but kept the Sikhi intact, kept the honor of the Guru's house intact. So Pulla Chokan Dikima, forgive me if I said anything wrong. Deho Sajjana Seesriya, Jehovah Sahib se milta, Guru Ramdas Kirpa rakhe, WhyGuru ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru ji ki Fateh.